good afternoon, and good evening. Good just whenever you're tuning in. Welcome to Ticket Price. The only show that makes me do things I hate! I hate! It's fine. I'm fine. I'm Jake. I'm the voice, and I'm totally fine. I love what I do. I love movies. I love talking about movies. Sitting across the way, co-host extraordinaire and the only man that has this pile of shit on hand in his collection, Tevis at Master Control. Tevis, I'd ask how you are, but I don't care. And
I'm doing absolutely fine.
Stop talking. I don't care. No one cares. No one cares. And now, we are going to ask the ticket price question. Is Waterworld worth the ticket price? Is it worth your time and money? Is it worth my time and money? Is it worth Tevis's time and money? No, it isn't. Good night. Roll a fucking credit. Contractual obligation, my dick. Talking about the shit.
That was a quick episode.
You know what wasn't quick? This movie.
This could have been a TikTok.
Woo. All right.
Yeah, what was this movie, like 2 hours and
it was surprisingly short for a Kevin Costner film.
30 movie.
I thought for sure it would break 3 like all other Kevin Costner movies. Nope. Today we will be visiting the 1995 movie Waterworld.
The 1995 American
Shut up.
post-apocalyptic action film directed by Kevin Reynolds.
We're not there. Written by Peter Rader and David Twohy. Twohy. Twohy? Twohy.
I like Twohy.
Twohy. And David Twohy, directed by Kevin Reynolds. And when I say written and directed, I mean perpetrated. I mean guilty of assault to my senses.
You're giving away the goods.
This movie has no goods! Starring Kevin Costner and Dennis Hopper. All right, Kevin Costner sucks. All right, any movie he's in, he sucks. Kevin Costner sucks. Dennis Hopper is one of those names that you hear, oh, the legendary Dennis Hopper. Fuck Dennis Hopper. Name a single good movie Dennis Hopper has ever done.
Speed.
Nope. That movie sucks.
Oh, you're wrong.
Next, you're going to tell me, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, where he gets into a chainsaw sword fight with Leatherface and kills himself and the family with a grenade. Or when he plays Bowser in the original Super Mario Brothers movie.
Classic.
No, it's not. Everyone's like, oh yeah, it's Dennis Hopper. Dennis Hopper's... he's not in any good movies. I don't know why Dennis Hopper is considered a legend. His filmography is a literal trip to the dumpster. This movie had a budget of $175 million estimate for this bloated garbage.
Yeah.
It grossed $264 million worldwide. It technically made its money back and didn't quite double it, but almost. Apparently this movie has awards. It has 6 wins with 9 nominations, including 1 Oscar nomination for Best Sound. Apparently the Oscar committee had the fucking movie on mute.
I can't recall why there would be an Oscar nomination for Best Sound.
Mute.
Well, the only thing I can think of is the sound of that girl eating fish. She's just...
Sounds like a fucking chipmunk.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of.
What is your history with this Drek?
I remember hearing about this movie, and I was kind of excited for it because it felt very Mad Max-ish. And I love Mad Max. I like the idea of bringing more Mad Max stuff to different genres. But I remember we rented this on VHS, this 1995 American post-apocalyptic action film.
Stop.
Uh,
Stop.
I remember watching it. I remember thinking, I like this. This is pretty good.
No, you didn't.
I did. And yeah, I've kind of always just fell in love with this movie. I don't watch it very often, but I probably watched it maybe 5 times in the last 10 years.
That's too many times.
And that's my history. What's your history with this 95 American post-apocalyptic action classic?
Reading the blurb. Put the case down. I don't really have a history with this movie. I remember my parents being big Costner fans. They have bad taste. And I feel like either it was on TV or we rented it. I don't know which. I just remember being younger. I remember trying to watch it with the family, getting just so incredibly bored. I got up and left. And I never went back.
So you never watched it all the way through?
No. Because I've also never stapled my nuts to my thigh.
Oh, yeah, that's painful. Not that I've ever done it.
And then obviously you hear all the, see the memes and hear the jokes about this movie, and everything, all the reputation preceding it. But no, this would be the first time I ever sat down and watched it start to finish. This would also be the only time I revisited it from the 20 minutes I gave it as a lad.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is your first time watching it all the way through.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be fun.
Oh, no. I want to appreciate how this movie starts with the cheesy, over-the-top 90s movie narration. In a world where the polar ice caps melted, plunging the planet into the ocean.
The future. The polar ice caps have melted, and the Earth lies beneath a watery grave.
Yeah, I really love the way they use the Universal logo for the opening of this movie, where it zooms in and you see all the ice caps melting, and then it kind of goes through the clouds, and then that's when it goes to show the boat that we're going to be spending a lot of time with.
Mm-hmm.
Why did they use the voiceover from the trailer?
From all the trailers.
Yeah, from the beginning of this movie.
In a world.
Well, it's literally the voiceover for this movie's trailer. Like, do they think that people couldn't see the ice caps melting on the logo thing, planet that they used?
I think they assumed that their audiences were coming in to watch Kevin Costner in a post-apocalyptic, what was it?
The American post-apocalyptic action film.
And that these Morlocks needed all the help they could get. It's ironic that I use the term Morlocks, being a subterranean race of monster people, or a derogatory expression for sewer-dwelling morons, about a movie that doesn't have subterranean.
Well, it's just really far down.
That's accurate, too.
Yeah, no, the voiceover is very lame.
And then we get to watch Kevin Costner drink his own pee.
Starting the movie off strong.
Just there he is, urinating into a jug that then he puts into some kind of water recycler. I don't know how that works. And then just swigging his urine.
That's called world building.
Is that what that's called?
Yep. Anytime you drink urine on the big screen, that's called world building.
Now, what about when I just drink urine at my house?
That's called gross. But
oh, I see. When you kill a man in the heat of battle, it's called heroic. But if you kill a man in the heat of passion, it's called murder.
Hello! What do you think you're doing? Only me and Garth get to talk to the camera. Come on.
We see Kevin Costner silently stalk about a boat. He goes underwater, and then some jerk-off steals his tomatoes.
Was it tomatoes or limes? I think it was limes.
No, it's a tomato plant.
No, that he gets the tomato plant on the atoll.
No, those were not fresh tomatoes.
I think they were tomatoes that look like limes.
Don't limes grow on trees?
I don't know. Well, I don't know what happens in Waterworld.
Huh.
Nothing's free in Waterworld.
Nothing's entertaining in Waterworld. But there's another guy because, he's like, hey, I didn't board your boat. I promise. I'm not at all like a shifty Sicilian. Ignore my greasiness.
Oh, shit.
I'm going to say a bunch of other incriminating things, but I totally didn't do it. And then, as an asshole, as I leave, because I think your boat's broken, I'm going to juggle the shit I stole from you.
So, when the two scavengers, sailors, whatever, meet up.
The jet ski guys?
No, the two guys on the boats.
Costner and the other guy.
Yes.
Okay.
According to their rule, they're supposed to trade something.
Sure.
And then the other guy, the Sicilian, says, I'll give you this one for free. And then Costner gives that delivery of saying the title of the movie.
Nothing's free in Waterworld.
Yeah. I kind of cringed a bit.
A bit?
A bit.
Now, what made you cringe? The terrible setup?
Yes.
The deplorable line delivery?
Yes.
Or just the terrible line itself?
Yes.
Okay. I'm glad we cleared that up.
That would be all the above.
D. All of the above.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot of that.
There's a lot of D's in this movie. I meant like the
Wieners?
all of the above.
Are we talking about the wieners?
Yeah, no wieners. No wieners.
There's some. Actually, we'll get. Never mind. We'll get there. The guy reveals he stole. So then Kevin Costner, he's only named the Mariner. The Mariner reveals he lied. His ship's not broken. And then he cuts that guy's mast in half with his ship. And then raiders kill that guy.
Yeah, smokers.
Yeah, we're going to get there.
Okay.
Yeah, but we do find out those raiders are called smokers. I have a lot of questions about the smokers.
I can answer those questions.
I bet you can't. And we'll get there.
I want to touch base on the Mariner's ship.
Yes.
I love his ship.
Why?
It's so cool.
Is it?
Seeing all of the little gadgets he has and the way he maneuvers around it with the rope. And it's very pirate-esque and very James Bondy.
You know what would have been cooler?
What?
A pirate movie. Or a James Bond movie.
We got both.
Nope. Both.
We got that, Bond, pirate, and Mad Max in a threesome.
We'll get there too. Yep. We're going to get there. Now, I have to be careful because I can already feel my voice going out. I'm not going to be able to talk tomorrow after this one, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the Mariner ends up going to an atoll. And I really hate how most of the people in this movie pronounce atoll, because they don't say atoll, they say atoll. As in like, oh, look, I need to go up to that booth and pay a toll, not a toll. It's like they don't know what that word is.
Yeah, but would they know what that word is?
They're speaking English. They should know how words work.
Well, if they were born in a world that was covered with water.
They are speaking English.
Yeah, but they say a couple of things that we'll get there, but they say a few words that I'm like, how would you know what that means?
You know what? Yes, they do. They make a few references where I went, you don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's more of just the culture of language surviving all this time. Maybe this movie's a piece of shit and the script sucks.
Well, we'll never know.
Well, stay tuned to the end to find out what our final thoughts are. But he goes to an atoll, which is mostly just a floating town, where he does some bartering. because he has a jar of dirt. Is this where that really stupid Pirates of the Caribbean joke comes from?
Oh, I don't know.
I have a jar of dirt. My name's Johnny Depp, and I like girls who shit in my bed, and I can't act.
So, as far as the atoll goes,
As
far as the atoll, I like the set. It looks really cool. But when they have that giant shark, and they're removing ribs like they're made of Lego, it looks stupid as shit.
Also, do sharks have ribs?
I don't know, but I don't think they have ribs that disconnect that easily.
Or like that.
It definitely looks very cartoonish.
Yeah.
But the rest of the set, I think, looks outstanding.
I don't know. It was a little borderline Hook to me.
I was getting ready to say the same thing.
It doesn't go as hard as Hook as far as looking like a Universal Studios Orlando, Florida like
Yeah, that comes
amusement
later.
park set.
That comes later.
But it kind of does.
Yeah, but it's I think it's way better than Hook. But
I'm not going to say it's way better than anything, but it doesn't it dances with the line, whereas Hook just blatantly dove over the line and then crowed about it. That's not crowing. That was on Golden Pond. Wah, 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 wah.
Sucking face.
But no, he has dirt, and we're like, oh shit, that's dirt. We will use it to just, I don't know what people use dirt for in this world.
Yeah, they plant things, but I'm like, how do you get the seeds to plant stuff?
Well, like we find out the atoll does have a tomato plant. But if you have a tomato plant and you have dirt, you should have multiple tomato plants.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, pretty sure that's how planting works.
Yeah, because they could just take the
turn their head and cough.
Tomato.
What is that hand gesture? Are you checking Costner for a hernia?
Yeah, somebody needs to.
Did someone sell you giraffes that won't mate and you're trying to get a better deal? And you're just,
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get more money. I want more chits for
their currency is called chits, CHITS, chits. And they are poker chips?
I don't know.
I don't know what they are. They're little hunks of metal?
I don't know. I didn't see Costner bite it, so I don't know if it's wooden or metal.
I don't know.
Or made of cheese. I don't know.
It wasn't a buffalo nickel.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the chit is.
Oh, this movie's pretty chitty.
I knew you were going to go there.
I know some chit when I see it.
There's a lot of wet chit right here.
Oh, this is a steamy wet chit right in someone's pants.
Oh.
So he sells the dirt for a bunch of chits. Then goes to the local general goods store and basically buys everything she has. Then, before he sails out to leave, the town elders offer him one of their young girls because, inbreeding is not a great idea.
Yeah,
I'm glad to know that when we go post-apocalyptic, women resume the role of property. Because we get that a lot in this movie.
We do get that a lot. And I forgot about that, honestly.
So they're like, hey, you're just a random man. Have sex with this girl, please.
Yeah, and when she's pregnant, you can go with all the supplies you'll need.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Don't know.
He'll be like a member of the town and he can just resupply there, or I don't really know is that sexual? I don't know what that means.
I think it means if he can go with all the supplies he needs for his trip until he comes back, delivers some more of the goods, And
You mean makes a deposit?
makes a deposit at the that's what I'm thinking there.
She didn't. The young girl in question didn't seem real enthused about. Also, she had to have been 15.
Yeah, but I think she was probably more enthused about that than doing it with her uncle.
I mean, presumably, but the look on her face, she is not thrilled about this.
No, I agree. So the guy that gets into the scuffle with the Mariner and pulls back his ear.
Oh, well, hold on. So the Mariner says, "You don't have anything I want," and goes to leave. The town elders go, "No man goes out to sea for that long," and then turns down a free woman. So they feel the need to form an angry mob and attack him? For reasons?
Yeah.
As far as they know, he could have ED. Like, I don't think they got wiener pills in Waterworld, so I'm just saying things fly off the handle really fast.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to show the... Fuck, I don't even know, honestly.
No, please defend this movie.
I'm
Please.
trying. I can't.
Please.
I can't.
Please. Defend this movie.
This one I don't have a defense for.
Neither does it.
No, they just kind of presume the worst and try to take him down.
They succeeded in the worst. Oh, you mean the characters? I thought you meant the movie makers.
No, the characters.
So they're like, obviously there's something wrong with him. They angry mob up and they get him and they find out that he is a mutant.
Yeah, so the guy that pulls back his ear and screams mutation, that guy was in Ghost. He is the one that kills Patrick Swayze's character.
No one cares.
I'm sure somebody out there does.
Nope. Ghost sucks too.
Oh, no way. Ghost is amazing.
So when does Demi Moore have sex with Whoopi Goldberg? They do the penis.
It was
pottery.
after the movie Wrapped. It was at a rap party. Yeah.
Were they having a snow day?
Pretty much.
So they learn that he is a mutant, and then they make some comments about him being a freak of evolution and whatever, however else they word it. And so they go to kill him. The guy who's kind of their chief of police, the guy in charge with the atoll's defenses, are like, "This is not how we do things." So they then imprison him for no reason other than being different. And then the elders who already wanted to kill him, shocker, vote to kill him. Oh, whoa. My God, I'm glad this took a day of deliberation. Wow. Shocker.
Well, they follow the law. Follow the law.
What law?
Law of the atoll.
Which is?
Let the elders decide.
Cool.
Yep.
Because that's what I like to put my faith in, a bunch of old people who can barely form coherent sentences or dress themselves.
Sounds like our Congress.
Don't get me started. Surprise Edouard Delacroix.
He plays some of the goofiest characters.
Yep.
And he's great at playing the goofy character.
No, he was great as Edouard Delacroix from Green Mile. I'm not going to say he was great as Gregor.
You didn't like Gregor?
No. No, I didn't.
What accent is that?
That's a great question.
Is it German?
European. 80s European.
80s.
So he's like, "Oh, you are a mutant." That's not how he does his voice at all, but it's the voice that happens.
That's close.
Thank you.
That's close.
There's one for the bingo board.
I almost pictured him.
But he's like, "Oh, yeah, look at that. Are they just vestigial? Oh, no, you actually breathe through those gills. And you look at your feet. They're crazy webbed. That's insane. Ha, 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 ha. Where's dry land?" And the Mariner's like, "There is no dry land." And Gregor's like, "Where's dry land? You've been there. I know you have." And Mariner goes, "How do you know I have? We don't know each other. And I haven't, which is what I'm trying to explain to you."
Anyway, I've come here because I need to ask you a question. Where did your dirt come from? Is it from dry land? Do you know what this is? The ancients, they did something terrible, didn't they? To cause all this water hundreds of years ago.
If I tell you where you opened this lock?
But ultimately, the town guard tell Gregor to fuck off, which is what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I did too.
Then the next morning, as Mariner is sentenced to be recycled. Now, when someone dies, they drop the body into a vat of goo.
Sure.
And they get recycled. I don't really know how. I don't really know why. And the movie does nothing to explain it.
Apparently there is it's called the Ulysses cut. That's like 3.5 hours.
I'll kill you.
And then it goes more into the world building, but obviously they cut a lot. So I don't know anything about it. I've never seen the movie, but that's what my research has shown me.
I will go full Billy Jack on the motherfucker that comes up to me and says, I have to watch a 3+ hour version of Waterworld. I'm sorry. Why don't you wait till there's a few more of you, and then it'll be a fair fight. I will not go quietly. I will tell you that.
'Tis madness to be thus enraged. To seek vengeance on a dumb thing is blasphemous.
Okay, Sarah, if you're listening to this, do not put Ulysses' cut of Waterworld in the hat.
Sarah, I know you're listening to this. Do not put...
Do it, Sarah.
Sarah?
I will give you $100.
Sarah. We both know he doesn't have $100. I will fight everyone. I'm fine. I'm fine. The atoll then gets attacked and the recycling process interrupted by the smokers. As Dennis Hopper on his orgy barge shows up, and then his army of ne'er-do-wells and miscreants attack the atoll. The atoll.
So the guy who is on watch and alerts the atoll.
Who did he play in Ghost?
No, the way he alerts the town. Holy shit. Overact much?
It's over something, but I wouldn't use the word acting.
Oh my God. He was going for it hard.
He was really hoping that this would be his platform. He would really jump off.
He needs to jump off.
So the smokers attack. There's guns, there's bombs, there's jet skis, there's water skiers on ramps, and there's stunts, and this sucks. This whole attack scene sucks. It's disjointed. There's no coherency to it. You can barely tell what's going on, and the stuff you can tell going on, you're just going, why the fuck is that happening?
There's a lot of that, yeah.
And then the defenders are like, we have walls. But then you've got the one guy they didn't give his medication to, strapped to mounted machine guns. He looks like a Twisted Metal character, and he just blows everybody up with machine gun fire. Looks like D-Day.
Yeah, that guy bothered me.
There's something wrong with him, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
But the way he shoots, the look on his face, the mask he wears makes him look like a pig.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Well, that's also the mask he would wear during the orgies.
Nope.
I think he might have been the guy at the Overlook.
You're probably right there, yes.
In the pig suit. Wait, pig or bear?
Pig
this
bear.
Debate was never settled, by the way.
It's a pig bear.
The gunfire miraculously doesn't kill the Mariner, or honestly anyone. For a battle this big, no one dies.
A lot of people escape.
I guess. Or we presume they die. I don't know. This looked like a fight. And this, I love the 80s show, The A-Team. And this fight scene looks like it was taken directly out of the A-Team. And for a $175 million movie, that is not a compliment.
Yeah, there were some issues with the atoll battle. Yeah.
Mariner, so he falls in the recycling fluid. Again, does he drown? Would he drown in it? But he has gills. Could he breathe? Would it like disintegrate him slowly? Is it acidic? I don't know what it is.
Yeah, would it clog his gills so he couldn't?
So it kind of just looks like a bunch of puke.
It does.
It looks like bubbly puke. And I, as an audience member, have just the slightest passing understanding of what this is. But I don't have enough to identify that it is any real threat or danger. So when he falls into it, I don't give a shit because I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I'll give you that one too.
We see a dead body go in. Okay, cool. But it's not like a prisoner got dropped in and they start screaming horribly as they descend in the bottom and you just go, oh, well, that seems awful. Right? Now I know at least that's really awful. No, he just falls down like, cool, he's just in the shit. He's in a metal cage. The metal cage isn't even sinking. He's just floating there like the world's worst bobber. Which, cool. I don't think he's in danger.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So the woman he traded with at the store rescues him. And she's like, hey, take me and my daughter with you when you escape. That's the price for freeing you. So they help him escape. There's some shit with Gregor's dumbass bumbling around and he accidentally activates and traps himself on board a blimp.
Yes, and does it ever explained as to why they even have that in the first place?
Sure doesn't.
Because I didn't know if that was like their means of escape.
And who is they? Is that like the town's means of escape? Did Gregor just build this shit in his off time? And so like that's his personal craft? Like no one knew it was there seemingly except Gregor and the woman and Helen and girl and
Enola.
Whatever.
Enola.
Bless you. And then he bumbles his ass around and then it takes off. He's like, oh, sorry, I couldn't stop it. And he just floats off. And all the bad guys go, huh, would you look at that?
Yeah, and they don't shoot it down.
Huh. A giant balloon should be the easiest target.
Yeah.
So then the woman and the girl help Costner escape. And the boat escapes, and then Costner uses a harpoon to turn numbnuts with the machine gun. He's in a machine gun. He's shooting the base, and yet he does not realize his boat is moving. When I say moving, he doesn't realize his boat is spinning. Then he doesn't realize that he's shooting at nothing. Then he doesn't realize he's shooting his boss.
Yeah, when all the people on Dennis Hopper's boat are yelling at him,
which he can't hear him. That I understood,
but they're all like, Chuck, stop firing, Chuck, and I don't even. The deacon is.
Oh my God! I forgot Dennis Hopper's character's name is the fucking deacon.
He's like, well, maybe he doesn't go by Chuck. Maybe he goes by Charles. Call him Charles. I'm like, are you every character that you've ever played in the 90s just rolled into? I want to report a crime.
Oh, hold on. Officer Dickhole reporting.
I want to report a theft.
Oh, okay. Sir, we've talked about this.
It's important.
Okay.
It's important.
Let me get my notebook. I'm listening.
Thank you.
Taking some notes.
Dennis Hopper.
Yes.
He stole the character from Super Mario Brothers, Bowser, the character he played in Speed, stole both of them,
Sure.
combined them together, and made the Deacon.
I think that's just Dennis Hopper.
You're probably right there, too. But there was another movie that he played in the 90s, in a very small part, True Romance.
Sure.
He plays the father of the main character. Does a fantastic job. He's very toned down. So maybe that was him acting, and this is just him being him. But he stole from two different movies and brought this character to life.
Sir, you can't steal from yourself.
He stole from himself.
No, that's not a thing, sir.
All right, I'll take it to the higher court. I don't even care.
You can't. I'm not submitting this report. I told you this is for emergencies only.
Officer Dickhole, you're not helping.
Shocker. This is what I was talking about. Everyone's like, oh yeah, Dennis Hopper. Fuck Dennis Hopper.
Yeah, I've never been a Dennis Hopper fan.
I'm fine. Totally fine. Now, they escape. They being the mariner, the woman, and the girl.
So one moment in Atoll, this really bothers me.
The movie?
Well, this one moment here that they show, but then they don't ever bring it up ever again. So they show him with his feet how fast he can swim in the water.
Yeah.
And then he flies up out of the water onto his boat.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cool thing to have. That's a cool ability. Why would you never do it again? Why would that be the only time you do it?
Because this movie sucks! I'm fine. I'm not at all a simmering ball of rage. I have in my notes here the smokers attack, and this is very discount Mad Max. You said this movie is like Mad Max. No, this is like someone took the idea of Mad Max, but didn't understand it, bastardized it, and then replicated it on the world's smallest budget. Except I know that's not true, because this film's only credibility is being a financial disaster in the sense that it was just a shit show of expenditure.
It's funny you say that. The writer of this movie...
Which one?
I can't remember the guy's name.
Raider or Twelhe?
I think it was Raider. That name sounds familiar. But he basically said he wanted to make his version of Mad Max.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
And he sucks.
And that's exactly what he tried to do.
Fucking sucks. And he fucking failed. And I hope he went on to do nothing. Because he sucks. This movie sucks. Also, I have a question for you. My first question in regards to the smokers and the townspeople. You live on a planet of water. Water everywhere, not a drop to drink. But you know what you can do? Fucking bathe. How is everyone covered in soot and shit?
I understand why the smokers are.
No! They have jets. They're going under the water. They're swimming. They're having a gay old time jumping off fucking skis off ramps. And they're swimming around. It would wash off.
The ones on the actual...
No, the only guy who has any credibility of just being covered in shit at all times is the slave old man that they keep down in the bowels of that battleship who keeps an eye on the raw oil levels.
So I'm just going to chalk it up to their being lazy.
How are they dirty? How's anyone dirty? There's only water!
They're dirty because the characters from Mad Max were dirty.
The characters in Mad Max are dirty because they live in an Australian fucking wasteland! Half of the continent is desert!
Yeah, but you have to make a Mad Max ripoff. You have to make the characters dirty too.
But there should be clean! Because it's just water! The only thing you could do is bathe and laundry!
I just know before this is over, I'm gonna need a whole lot of serious therapy. Look at my eye twitching.
I hate everything. Did I mention they escape?
I mean, one person in this world obviously bathes.
Helen.
2 people in this world.
Girl.
3 people in this world obviously bathe.
Mariner.
The Nord The guy with the red flowing
He doesn't
hair.
bathe. He just washes his hair.
Jesus Christ. What kind of conditioner does that motherfucker use?
He has the most beautiful ginger curls that cascade down his head, down his neck, and splays out across his shoulders.
If Zack Snyder filmed this, they would have a slow motion shot of him flowing his hair back. And fucking this character from now on is known as L'Oreal. Magnificent hair.
It is magnificent. I'll grant you that.
He was Judge Faden in Batman Begins.
What?
Moving on.
Okay. Mariner, woman and girl escape. Mariner slaps woman around. She, as property, offers herself to him as payment for their ride. He's not buying. The Mariner isn't. He then explains how they don't have enough water and they should just pitch the girl over the side because it's better that she die quickly instead of both of them dying slowly.
Yeah, he's kind of an asshole.
He sure is. Okay. He's not like a rough, tough, gruff Rooster Cogburn man with no name. Like he's not. He's just a douche. Like he's a dick, but in a douchey way. And you're just going, oh, you're an unlikable cocksucker. I'm glad you're my main character. I'm glad I'm sitting through a movie where I have to follow your dumbass around. I'm glad I get to see what you're up to all day. And you just dick around.
Yeah, he's not a likable guy.
And he does proceed to slap them around a little bit.
A little bit? There's a lot. It goes on for majority of their trip.
Hold on. I lost where I am in my notes. Smokers. We learned that the smokers are looking for the girl because the girl has a tattoo on her back that is supposedly a map that leads to dry land. Yeah, and then we get a lot of character building. We get a lot of character building as now we have mother, adopted daughter, and douche canoe trying to, different strokes it up on this boat.
Yeah, the whole character of the Mariner really didn't work for me at all.
No, the whole character of the Mariner just doesn't work.
It's just, I'm angry. I hate everything. I hate everyone.
I have one character trait, and it's douche.
Yeah, very much.
And it makes it really hard for me to give a shit about your main character or your movie when this is who I have to watch all the whole time.
I agree.
And Costner is not the right guy for this kind of role. Now, granted, the issue comes from writing and directing predominantly. This is an action-y role, and he just doesn't have it. He doesn't have the look. He doesn't have the voice. This was a miscast.
Yeah, he delivers a couple of lines
that you just go, ugh.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's not very, not just not masculine, but not intimidating. Not good.
If someone who looked like him and sounded like him came up to me on the street and hit me with some of those lines, I would openly scoff at them. But you know what? He's real intimidating to those two small women as he cuts their hair off as punishment for damaging his boat.
Yeah, during the airplane attack.
Surprise Jack Black.
Surprise Jack Black.
Surprise Jack Black.
I never knew that was Jack Black until this last time I watched it.
Well, to be fair, like at the time of that movie, a very, very small audience would have even known who Jack Black was. Yes, Tenacious D was a thing. Yes, I think at this point in time, they had that really short-lived HBO show. I think it was an HBO show, but they had like the Tenacious D show. But again, we're talking about a very small niche audience.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. Seeing Jack Black.
Young Jack Black.
Yeah.
And he gives one of the better performances of this film.
I'll give you that too.
He lives, right? Up until, the explosion, where he presumably dies with everyone else.
I'm assuming, yeah.
But he survives the place. So the smokers are like the girls on that boat. We'll hunt it down. Dennis Hopper lost an eye when his boat got blown up by the machine gun. He's real put out about that.
And why?
Why did he lose an eye?
Yeah.
Because they wanted him to look intimidating. So now he has codpiece and eye patch.
Why didn't they just start that off with?
I don't know. Because
it doesn't really give you any kind of reason for them two to meet and battle it out. Like, you took my eye.
No, because the reason they're going to fight is because he has the girl.
Yeah.
Right? And let's face it. So you have your main bad guy, the Deacon. I'm going to try to break this down without losing my temper. You have a character like the Deacon. That is a kind of character who sells himself as a powerful man or woman, a powerful person. They are smart, they are cunning, but they have to be able to portray themselves as if they are in fully control of the situation at all times. Otherwise, you neuter that character and you ruin their aura. So now I don't feel like this main bad guy is a big bad threat because they don't have the aura they need to have. You mentioned Batman Begins. Let's go to Batman The Dark Knight Rises, one of the worst titles in movie history. What a shitty title. Separate issue. Think about Tom Hardy as Bane. Granted, Bane and Tom Hardy, but he's a bigger guy, right? But take his size out of it. His dick enters the room 2 minutes before he does. He swings that confidence around. Remember when he had gotten, air quote, hired by that one businessman in Gotham because he's trying to usurp Wayne's power and take over Wayne Tech or fucking whatever?
Yeah.
And he's like, I bought you. I own you. I'm in control. What does Bane do? He walks over and places the back of his hand on that guy's shoulder. It's not even a threatening gesture. It's just the idea that palm up, lays his hand on that guy's shoulder, physically touches him and goes, really? Do you feel you have any power in this moment? That is the type of aura a character like the Deacon needs to have to sell that he's a credible threat. When you have that character immediately blown up while yelling to Cousin Chuck or Charles or whatever the fuck that guy answered to, and he's like, well, cousins, see you later. Ba-da-ba-da-da-ba. And dives off the boat and he loses an eye. And then there's that shitty fucking scene of the guy is making a glass eye for him and it looks like shit, but no one wants to tell him it looks like shit because they're all afraid of this dumbass for some dumbass reason. And then that kid's like, that looks like shit. And he's like, see, that's why I love kids, because they tell you the truth. And there's fucking, he sneezes or something and the eye flies across the room. And I'm like, this motherfucker has no aura. He is not a credible threat. I do not feel any concern. I know that this guy will fail in everything he attempts because he fucking sucks.
Yeah, he's very cartoonish.
Yes.
And it goes back to the whole, what do you want to be? Are you trying to be a somewhat serious Mad Max ripoff? Or are we going kind of cartoony? And they kind of go back and forth with that a lot. And that bothered me.
Think about
the Deacon character of the Deacon anyway really bothered me because one, it's Dennis Hopper, but just even if they got, because Samuel L. Jackson was up for the role.
Sure.
But he turned it down to do Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Good call.
Very good call. Gary Oldman. He apparently flipped a coin. He's like, okay.
Security guard at the mall. Waterworld.
No, he went on to do the Scarlet
I'm
Letter.
thinking of Gary Coleman.
Gary Coleman.
You said,
oh my God.
You said Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to lie. I really thought you said Gary Coleman. What you talk about, Willis? What you talk about, Mariner?
Coleman. There's no Coleman here. You've made a mistake.
That would have been awesome.
It would have been better.
If you want to go like full cartoon,
Would have been better.
Yeah. But Gene Hackman, James Caan, Gary Oldman, and Lawrence Fishburne all turned it down.
Because so what we have is that collection of guys who are all good actors, who all would have come in with the gravitas that this role needed to work. They looked at the material and went, this sucks. This character at a fundamental level does not work. And they passed it on. Dennis Hopper, in theory, could have done a decent job with the right material. But any of those guys you just named, Fishburne, Caan, Coleman, the other one you name, Hackman. Imagine Gene Hackman in the role of the Deacon with not good line, even decent lines.
Oh,
It would have been full. The good, or not the good, bad, the fucking
Quick and the Dead.
The Quick and the Dead.
Yeah.
He's the only good thing in the. Well, no, Russell Crowe's really good in The Quick and the Dead. There are two good things in The Quick and the Dead: Russell Crowe and Gene Mother effing Hackman. Right?
Absolutely.
But honestly, had they done this role with the material provided, they would have damaged their own literal auras as actors. This shit is so bad. But then like the Deacon later in the movie, and we'll get to it when we get there, but he gives that speech. He has a ship full of people that he keeps under control through charisma and presence. Except the character of the Deacon has neither. This doesn't work. He's not a threat. You go, this bumbling moron is just going to screw up anything he tries. So now we have a bad movie being led by a douche and a moron. Sell me a ticket. I'm engrossed in this. Please, I wish this was longer.
Could get the 3-hour cut.
Writing characters can be very, very difficult. Some people have a knack for it, some don't. I have several friends who are authors. They, Jake, can you beta read this book for me? I said, absolutely. I'd love to. I am not an editor. They know, do not come to me if you're looking for, well, this should really be a semicolon. I'm not that guy. I'm not fucking spell check. I'm not going to catch punctuation mistakes. That's not what I do. I can tell you if your plot is coherent or if it has holes or if your characters work. That's why they ask me to beta read. And some of the biggest issues I have that I let them know and they spend a lot of time reworking on is I'm going, your character is one-dimensional and doesn't work for their role. Whether it's a bad guy or a monster or a main character, then I'm going, this main character, I don't like this main character. I don't care if they succeed or not. And they go, really? And I'm like, yeah. And then we have a long discussion about it. This movie is just bad characters. Every single one of them. And if I do not care about your characters, I do not care about your movie.
So the scene where they come upon the second traitor,
the crazy man.
The crazy man. I found that hard to watch.
Because that guy was going too hard?
He was fine. I didn't mind him. It was the conversation that him and the Mariner were having about
him having sex with the two girls. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Mariner's like, yeah, you can have her for a half hour.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? I honestly totally forgot about this whole
women are property
scene. Yeah, and then the guy was like, "Oh, can I have like 45 minutes with the wee one?" I'm like, "What?"
Okay, he hits the Mariner with the line, "I like to do the talking, if you know what I mean." What does that mean?
I don't know what that means.
I know a lot of innuendos. I do not have a single idea what he's talking about.
Because this is another part where I think he's the one that the crazy guy is the one that delivers the line. Something about you have a couple of waitresses here, or
Oh God, what is the line?
I can't remember.
And then he makes several comments about the Mariner having his own harem and stuff like that.
But he does mention something about waitresses, and I'm like, how do you know what waitresses are?
Apparently restaurants exist.
Apparently. But I don't know. That kind of threw me off.
Meat's back on the menu, boys. Wait, orcs know about menus? Wait, orc restaurants?
But no, their whole conversation and how the Mariner was just like, okay, you can have her, but not her. I was like, well, good. I'm glad you decided not to let him have the girl, but why?
This is also marks the third instance in this movie where we see the female body traded as a commodity.
Yeah, and that bothered me a little bit.
How do I put this? It bothers me not in the sense that it's in the movie. It bothers me that it's done so ham-fistedly. If you're going to have something like that in your movie, it needs to be part of you're making a statement of some sort, right? It's like if you're going to have a lot of racial tension, it's part of a larger statement that you are trying to make, not just to have just because.
Okay. The crazy guy has this jar, and it's supposed to be a very valuable item in this jar.
Oh, yeah.
And this is what he uses to trade for his time with the woman.
Yes.
And it's paper.
Yeah.
Very rare.
Paper.
Can't find paper anywhere.
I get the concept of that. I'm with it.
But what are cigarettes rolled in?
Oh, we're not there.
The smokers are just smoking like crazy.
Yeah, they sure are.
And
you want to take the can off this worm?
Let's do it.
The lid off this can of worms?
Let's take the can off this worm.
All right. Can gone. Worms freed.
Everywhere.
Okay. So the smokers are the group in the movie that don't use wind power or like rudders and sails and all that. He hates sails. What a stupid line.
That is a stupid line.
They have gas powered engines. They have motorboats, they have jet skis, they have an airplane, they live on a big what oil refining? It's some kind of big tanker
tanker.
It's a big oil tanker.
It's the Exxon Valdez.
Sure.
You don't know about the Exxon Valdez?
No.
The captain of that ship that the deacon looks at the picture of.
Saint whoever.
Yeah. And this is the problem with adding something from the time to your movie. Over time, people forget about that shit and they have no idea what the hell.
No one knows what the hell you're talking about.
But the Exxon Valdez was a ship that I can't remember if it hit land or it hit something and caused a giant oil spill.
Sure.
Back in the 90s. And it was a huge deal back then. It was, way before the
BP thing. And, yeah.
And there was a massive cleanup and caused a lot of problems for fishermen and things like that. So
I'm sure a bunch of celebrities got together and sang a song and released an album.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what that is referring to, is that accident. But again, nobody remembers that.
No one knows what the hell that's talking about now.
So you kind of did yourself a disservice.
See, so now they're not even making a social commentary. They're making a reference to something very modern. And then, that stuff is flash in the pan. It's here. It's gone. We've moved on.
Yes.
So no, I had no idea who that captain was, or in the picture, or what I recognized Exxon, the now defunct company. But I went, okay, so they're trying something here, but I don't know what they're trying.
Yeah, I remember first watching it, and when the ship sinks, and it shows very blatantly Exxon Valdez. I was like, oh hey, and it was kind of a moment.
I went, Exxon Valdez. I don't know what that is. I know what Exxon is, but that's as far as it went. So I was just like, oh, it's an Exxon ship.
Yeah, but it was trying to make a clever joke, I think, and it just.
Oh, there's nothing clever about this movie. Now, back to our worm that we decanned. The smokers. So originally I thought, okay, the smokers get their name because they have engines, but now I'm pretty sure they just have their name because they chain smoke. Every single one of them chain smokes. They have infinite cigarettes. It's the only way I can describe it. But now, this isn't the type of cigarette one might expect, although you wouldn't expect any cigarettes in this world, but I will get to that part. Bear with me, okay? It's not like they're rolled up cigarettes, right? Not like they put their fixings in and they rolled it up and now they have a cigarette. These are like prepackaged, machine-made like Marlboros, right? They have legitimate, I went to the gas station and bought a pack of cigarettes, right? The fuck are these rolled in, to your point? They're obviously rolled in paper. I will ask you a question and go the step farther. Where the fuck are they getting the tobacco?
They're growing it on that boat.
Where?
Apparently.
No, they're not.
Apparently, it's next to where they're taking the oil and refining it and making it into gas.
I don't think it is. We see a lot of their ship before it's all said and done. And their ship is full of rust and empty rooms. They ran out of money when decorating the ship, and they just went, doesn't matter. Empty corridors.
Yeah, I don't understand that. There's no need for it either, the cigarettes. Like,
no, there's no purpose it's serving.
Because he's like, at one point when he's driving through the crowd with the Peter Gunn music playing.
Yeah.
For why?
Reasons.
But like he's handing them out like.
He's tossing them out like
candy at a parade.
Or okay, this movie wants to be Mad Max, right? Let's jump to the future to Mad Max Fury Road. What does Dictator Immortal Joe do? He opens the water valves of the subterranean aqueduct.
Yes.
And it's a bread and circuses kind of thing. He's giving the people water. Look how benevolent I am. Behold the fresh water. Or like if you're watching an old like Sword and Sandal movie, you might see we did Gladiator, right? Not just did, but we did Gladiator, right? They're all in the Colosseum and the Emperor's riding around circle waving as they are throwing loaves of bread to the starving masses, right? Now we have the deacon, air quote, feeding the starving man. He's just throwing cigarettes out. But again, he just has like a bag of Lucky Strikes, just throwing them in the air. Just, here you go.
Maybe he bought that semi-truck that Axel Foley was trying to get rid of.
He bought Axel's semi-truck before the... But again, these are pre-packaged cigarettes. So you might be saying, guys, the hell is your problem? They're still floating around. There's still cigarettes to be found. This movie takes place, as stated in the movie, hundreds of years after the polar ice caps melted.
Yes.
And we learn throughout the movie that the world flooding was enough to substantially cover the tallest skyscrapers. Those cigarettes are long gone, and not replaceable.
Yeah, that never made any sense to me at all.
This fucking movie.
I think this would have been a really cool Mad Max-esque movie if you just bring the water level down to where the cities are covered, but you could still see
tops of buildings. The atolls would make more sense.
Yeah. Well, like, okay, when they go to that one little tower place to get resin,
mm-hmm.
and the deacon has those dead bodies all tied up and they're waving, pulling the little pulley system so it looks like they're still alive.
Oh, God. Damn it, I forgot about that part.
What the hell use is that little thing? And
it's like a trading outpost.
Yeah, but it's like super tall, really skinny. Is it attached to anything in the ground? No. How, is it anchored? It makes no sense. There's no rooms there. There's nobody. You're not living there.
Presumably, except From what we can tell, it kind of looks like those guys live there.
There's like 7 or 8 people there.
Yeah.
What? Why?
So now let's talk about in the scene you are now referencing. One of the traps the Deacon sets up to capture the Mariner and get the little girl with the tattoo. They go to a trade outpost that they believe the Mariner is going to. They then get there before the Mariner does, kill everyone there, and take it over. So when the Mariner comes to trade, boom, they got him. That makes sense. Okay, I'm with it. They kill everyone there. Do they dump the dead bodies overboard? No. Do they hide the dead bodies and then just have their own people working the trade port so it looks normal? No. Do they string all the dead bodies up on an intricate network of marionette puppet strings like it's the world's worst version of Weekend at Bernie's? Yes!
Brilliant.
That's obvious. And then they go, he saw right through us. Better attack. Yeah, because they went, the fuck is wrong with those guys? Oh, they're obviously corpses hung up by strings.
Yeah, it was kind of stupid. And then the guys in the water.
So they've got weights attached to jet skis, completely submerged, so they're hidden, and then the guys are breathing through extra long snorkels.
I would have imagined would they just have like really long straw, like connected together, multiple straws.
The straws with the little bendy part you have to stretch out.
Yeah.
Now, question. I've been on a jet ski a time or two, but I don't own a jet ski. I don't know much about jet skis. Can a jet ski just stay submerged
and still start
and still run?
I don't know.
Like, I've seen the tricks where it's going, they dive under the water for a second, then pop back up. Like, they did it in the movie even, but I've seen that like at water shows or whatever. And okay, cool. But like, you take it and you completely submerge it for minutes, maybe an hour.
How long were they under there?
How long were they under there? Long enough to set up this elaborate puppet scheme. So probably an hour minimum. Would the engine not flood and that just becomes the world's biggest paperweight?
I don't know.
I'm almost positive that's not how jet skis work.
Yeah.
Someone in the comments that knows about jet skis. Is this surprisingly accurate, or is it just another ridiculously stupid fact or detail about this shit movie? I'm curious your thoughts. Yeah, there was that. We didn't talk about the sea monster. The women are complaining about basic necessities like food, because the Mariner apparently doesn't need to eat or drink, except his own urine on occasion. Maybe that's part of his fucking mutation. I don't know. He's a mutant, right? But he's still human. So he would still require food and fresh water at very regular intervals. Except he doesn't?
Yeah, I don't understand that.
So they don't go into that. Then he decides, fuck it, I'm going to fish just to shut them up so I don't have to slap these. My knuckles are getting tired from slapping these women around. So he goes to fish. He puts himself on a big line with like a harpoon or some shit. And then an air quote sea monster swallows him. You had mentioned before about really bad looking effects and some real cartoony shit. We see what I guess is a sea monster with rows and rows of teeth swallow him. How do I put this? There's a number of things I'm trying to figure out how to put. A, why is there a sea monster? Did sea life have some kind of vast evolution given the changed aquatic nature of the planet and that these giant monsters can exist now? Because if you're one that believes in macroevolution, that shit takes millions upon millions of years, not 300. Then the Mariner is swallowed whole, except predatory fish with rows and rows of teeth like that very, very rarely swallow anything whole. They bite things. That's why through evolution, they have teeth. So Mariner wouldn't have been swallowed whole. His dumbass would have been bitten in half.
That would have been a great ending.
Dead. Next. And they go, holy shit.
They're just like, what the fuck was he doing?
What the fuck was that? And everyone freaks out, and that little girl's traumatized. Then he kills it from the inside out, presumably. He's swallowed whole. Because he's swallowed, and it smash cuts to them barbecuing. And they're cooking the fish meat. Where's the rest of it? They're eating, and then he's got a decent hunk of fish meat on the grill.
That looked delicious, by the way.
Where's the rest of it?
I don't know. That's why I always kind of wondered. Did it tie it up behind the boat?
Yeah, is the boat pulling this massive carcass? Or did he just cut a few slabs off and then let it float away? Because that seems wasteful. But the Mariner's douchey enough to do that, so I don't really know. This movie sucks. Have I mentioned that? Have I mentioned this is a bad movie?
No, you have not.
Okay. Stay tuned for final thoughts.
So they narrowly escape being captured by the Deacon's puppet show. And then they stop to dive down so that he can show Helen dry land.
So Helen keeps badgering him about dry land. Have you seen it? I know you have. Everyone is dead certain he has seen dry land, except, again, as we learn, he has never seen dry land. Now, he puts her in a diving bell. He can breathe underwater. Why does he already have a diving bell? He doesn't need oxygen.
Yeah, I kind of wondered that myself.
Next question, because this is a genuine question. I don't know. How much oxygen does a diving bell hold?
A lot, apparently, because they went far.
Next question. How far can a human body go before they are crushed to death by the depth? Because we know they are hundreds of meters above the top of skyscrapers. He takes Helen in the diving bell to the what would be street level of the skyscrapers to get a handful of dirt to show her where he gets the dirt from. He's a mutant. Okay, he can survive the depth. It's not really explained, but I can roll with it. He has gone hundreds of feet without any assistance outside of diving bell. Would she not have died?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
It would have been like that.
Don't too soon. Don't talk about it. You're going to talk about the submarine.
No, yeah.
You're going to talk about the Titanic submarine.
No,
They didn't have any Xbox controllers.
Logitech. They used the Logitech.
Fucking Pelican.
No, I was going to talk about that scene in The Abyss when they're in those submarines and they crash.
Yeah.
And then Michael Bihn's submarine falls and you see it actually implode.
Yeah.
And that was super cool. But that's what it would be like.
Yeah. Also, that diving bell is attached to rope. How much fucking rope does the Mariner have?
All of it.
He has the entire planet's supply of rope and string, apparently. Yeah. And also those scenes, man, they looked bad.
They did look bad.
They looked really bad. Any of the scenes that had Costner underwater looked as bad as any scenes in Black Adam of someone flying.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
But they returned from their diving expedition. Guess who caught them? The motherfuckers that have been chasing them this whole time. They went, oh, look, they stopped.
They stopped for some reason. What the hell?
Cool, we'll just wait for them. And then they capture the girl and leave Helen and Mariner for dead.
Yeah, burn his boat.
They take the girl. Then there's gunfire. Mariner and Helen, they can only survive by diving into the water to escape the gunfire. It's when we are treated to the line, don't worry, I'll breathe for both of us.
Bless you.
Thank you, excuse me. This movie's so bad, I'm allergic to it. So then he lip locks Helen and is breathing through his gills, but he's still exhaling through his mouth, right?
Yeah, so
Which
wouldn't
would
that be
still be mostly carbon dioxide, which she definitely can't breathe, and she would die. Because the whole idea is he can breathe the water through his gills, and then he's taking in enough oxygen for the both of them. So what they're trying to tell me is if I dive in a lake and I grab a fish
absolutely?
and I make out with this fish, the fish will breathe for both of us?
Just try it. I want to see it.
Unless it's got something to do with his gills combined with the process of his lungs, but even still, that's not how breathing works. He's breathing in through the gills. The oxygen is then being absorbed in his body. There's no direct gill to mouth tube that expels the oxygen into another being. That's not how any of this works.
You know what would have made this scene better? Is after the deacon and everybody leave, Mariner comes up holding the woman and she's dead, and he goes, "Oh, fuck.
I thought that would work.
That didn't work."
Man, I thought that would work. I've never tried that before. Like, it's so dumb.
So Helen and the Mariner are hanging out on the burned boat.
We're going to die here, aren't we? I feel like I'm going to die reviewing this fucking movie.
And then Helen is like, back there after the atoll, when I offered myself to you.
Yeah.
Why didn't you take me? And he's like, this is one of the moments where he delivers the line so terribly.
It's a bad line with a worse delivery.
Because you didn't really want me.
And again,
Not really. Not really.
Kevin Costner's got this little wiener voice. He's like, because you didn't really want me. Not really. I don't know why we've given him an accent. Although he does kind of talk with an undetermined accent.
Sometimes, like when he says really, he's like, not really.
Not really.
Just like, what?
You didn't want me. But not really.
But then they end up hooking up. So,
well, what else are you going to do? You're going to die. So just whatever. Bang one out.
But my thought is, not too long after that, Gregor shows up.
Yeah.
In his little balloon thing.
Yep.
You think he was there like 10 minutes earlier and saw what was going on?
Spyglass and went, oh, maybe I'll take another lap around. Let me go around the block again.
He's like, wait, there's smoke. Let me go see what this is. Oh, shit.
Oh, wait, do you think he just hung out and watched?
Yeah. Get it, Helen. Get it. Ride that pony.
I want to ever hear you say get it ever again. If we could just never do that again, that would be real swell. No, I like to think he took another. Also, okay, Helen, good idea burning your boat. The smoke helped me see. What are you talking about? Everything in this world is burnt half to shit. There's smoke everywhere. You flew away 5 days ago. You didn't. What are you talking about?
Like,
this movie sucks.
So you saw smoke. You didn't immediately think it was smokers. So you flew towards it.
Yeah.
Maybe he has really good hearing and he just heard.
Hark, do I hear people doing it? I should investigate. I always investigate the sounds of the sex. Oh, yeah. Wait, no visual, just pure hand to ear, ear to the wind. Get it, Helen. Hark! Is that the clapping of ass cheeks here? Those sound like Helen's ass cheeks clapping. Wait. That clapping has a tinge of mutation to it. Is that the heavy breathing of gills? It must be the Mariner clapping Helen's cheeks. I will go towards that and find them. They obviously need my assistance. Fuck is this movie? Have I mentioned I hate everyone?
Oh.
But you're right, they are saved miraculously by Gregor, who may or may not have been creeping on them with multiple of his senses while they did it. Then they board the airship. Then they somehow find the other survivors of the atoll attack. The atoll attack, excuse me.
Yeah, atoll.
The atoll. The a-hole attack. Oh, no, that was
earlier.
That's what
That was
Gregor
where-
was watching.
Yeah.
Hark.
Get it, Helen.
Ew. Ew, I got heebie-jeebies from that one. Ew, I don't like it.
Motherfucker.
Oh my God. I'm done.
We're
I
almost there. We're almost there.
We're not. I'm gonna go home.
Mariner is attacks the Exxon. Let's just get there.
No, okay. Right before Mariner attacks or during the attack. So Mariner decides, I'm going to save the little girl because we're friends now. I taught her how to swim, and that was cool, I guess. Teaching her to swim totally made up for all the backhands I fed her earlier.
Yeah, and me throwing her in the water
To drown,
to drown her.
or the cutting of her hair, or again the numerous backhands.
Yeah.
He goes to save her and dresses up in like a trench coat, and he's got weapon. I don't get it.
Well,
Can we talk about the hype speech Enola gives? He doesn't know fear. You can't kill him. He's the meanest. And she just gives this weird hype speech over a montage of Mariner's attack of the fucking Exxon dick sock or whatever the ship is called.
Valdez.
That's what
D's. They call it the D's.
That's why I kept going. Are they saying D's? Like D's
Yeah.
nuts?
Yeah, exactly. No, literally. That is kind of what I was thinking when I was watching this again. I was like, you keep calling it the D's. You don't reveal what it is until the very end of the movie, but nobody is going to connect the dots to that. You're going to be like, oh, well, we'll go back to the D's, and everybody's going to be like, D's nuts? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're going to go back to D's nuts, and then it's just Deacon going, ha! Got him! Oh, Mariner, you want to find the girl? Then you come to the D's. The D's nuts! Ha! Got him! And then Mariner plots his attack because he's just like, oh, the bastard!
You got me again.
He got me
Why do I
again.
keep falling for it?
Oh, Mariner, she's okay, but you better hurry. She's definitely suffering from ligma. Ligma? Ligma balls! Ha! Got him!
Oh, but yeah, no, the Enola, she does. She gives up like
Gives this weird hype speech.
like, what does she say? He doesn't have a name, so death can't find him. He can hide in the shadow of a noon sun.
What does that mean?
He can hear 100 miles and see 100 miles. And she's telling all this to the L'Oreal.
Yeah.
And
Who also can hear 100 miles? Gregor. He can hide in the shadow of a noon sun. Someone was jerking off so hard as they wrote this. It's so dumb. He has no name, so death can't find him. He doesn't know what fear is because he's not the brightest. He has trouble identifying deep emotions.
We're just talking about our friend. What's his name?
I don't have a name, so death can't find him. Doesn't have a home or people to care for. Not afraid of anything, men least of all. He's fast and strong like a big wind. He can hear 100 miles and see 100 miles underwater. He can hide in the shadow of a noon sun. He can be right behind you and you won't even know it till you're dead.
Give it a rest.
Then, more fighting ensues. But then there's a scene where, like, Mariner fights his way up to the command deck where Deacon and the girl and L'Oreal and everyone was. except they just went down a different staircase and made it to the deck. So basically, Mariner went up one staircase, Deacon and company went down a different staircase, and they just missed each other.
They probably actually passed each other, and they're like, "Oh, excuse me."
Oh yeah, sorry. Excuse
Pardon
me.
me,
Trying to get to the top. Oh yeah, 3 more flights to the left, right? And so when the Mariner gets up there, he just looks like a real dumbass.
Yeah, because he even looks down and he sees
He sees it. He's like, "Fuck! I was just down. Do you know how many stairs I climbed? Damn it!"
So wait a minute. Didn't you just give me directions to this room?
Wait, weren't you? Wait a minute. L'Oreal's up there. He gets killed. No one cares.
Very lame.
Mariner
he's like, you
blows up the
stayed in the water, and then goes to shoot him.
But his gun doesn't work for plot-based reasons, I can only assume.
Yeah.
And then Mariner kills him. Mariner, blows up the ship with a flare. No one cares.
So we were talking about sets earlier.
Yeah.
And how they looked very
hokey.
Every time that they're on board the Exxon.
The
D's, I'm sorry. Every time they're on the D's.
D's nuts! Ah!
And especially...
Ladies and gentlemen, I just got Tevis. Just got him.
And especially this last time, this very much reminded me of, we talked about it before, that scene from the live-action Turtles movie when they're in the Foot Clan's hideout and all the teenage kids are running around.
Oh, yeah.
This reminded me of that a lot, just everybody running around.
But nothing's actually going on.
No, and I hate this part so much. Where they're rowing this giant fucking oil vessel.
And they have oil.
And
a way to refine the oil.
But
they like they're rowing an ancient Greek trireme. Like,
why? It looks stupid for one.
It looks real dumb.
It's dumb anyway because you guys have fuel. Like, what are you doing?
Now, they are getting low and they need to save it, but it doesn't change the fact that this looks stupid.
It looks dumb as shit. Because the oars on this thing are fucking massive.
And they're just made of scrap metal.
Yeah, like you're not going to do anything with those things.
No. Also, oars that large would take so many people to work a single one. The amount of coordination you would need to get a single oar to move in the right way to propel it, let alone all of those oars by all of those people in perfect harmony, I strongly doubt that boat's going anywhere.
And the guy he's looking at the camera and yelling stroke. Looks like he's going to have one every time he yells it because his eye is like one eye's closed because he's got that cigarette in his mouth and he's got smoke in his eye and he's just, dude, chill out. I can see the veins in your forehead.
They are about to pop.
But I did enjoy the moment where the Mariner lights that flare and throws it in the pipe, down the pipe.
Yeah.
And it lights that oil on fire, and the guy that they use for the depth measurer guy.
He sees the flare coming down, knows what's about to happen. His last words, "Oh, thank God." And then he's engulfed in flame, and he's happy about it.
Yes, I did enjoy that a lot.
Now, again, this would have been a badass moment had it been done by a badass character in a badass movie. Unfortunately, none of these things apply to Waterworld with Kevin Costner. But the Mariner lights a flare, holds it over the pipe that for some reason leads directly down. This movie has some Death Star issues where there's an exhaust port that leads directly to the reactor, and I'm pretty sure that's not how that works. Now, granted, I know in like Rogue One and everything, people have tried to come up with an explanation for an obvious shitty writing oversight. So now we're on the D's, and there's just a single pipe on the deck that goes straight down to the oil. So what happens when it rains? Does all that water just get in the fuel and the whole thing's fucked?
Yeah.
So he holds the flare, and they're like, "You're not gonna do that. You're bluffing." And then Mariner just smirks and drops it like a badass. Except again, that could have been a badass moment if it was done by someone who is in fact a badass, but it wasn't. So just kind of like, "Yep, that happened." All right. Yep. Oh, so Mariner, obviously he's at the top. Deacon and the girl are at the bottom because they accidentally passed each other on the way to the bathroom or something. And so he zip lines down. I swear to God, you could almost see the line of customers waiting their turn for the Waterworld zip line as Kevin Costner goes down this thing.
Yeah, it was cool seeing him actually do that stunt.
Yes.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
But it's a zip line. It's not that. What's that? What's the movie where there was the one airplane and they had the wire going across to a second airplane and a stuntman actually ziplined from moving plane to moving plane?
Air Force One?
That was cool.
Yeah.
Kevin Costner just doing a zip line is not cool.
I thought it was cool.
He gets Enola back. If I'm being honest, I don't super remember. Oh, he gets the plane to crash, and Dennis Hopper's just kind of dead in the plane, and he takes the girl and leaves. And while they're being pulled up by Gregor and company in the flying pervert mobile, shocker, Dennis Hopper isn't dead.
Yeah.
And he grabs their leg and he like kicks him off and they go in the water or something. And then it's Dennis Hopper and two other no-name red shirts. They're all on jet skis. I don't know where the jet skis came from. And how does the big bad of the movie die? In a goofy, comical, three-way head-on jet ski crash that ends in a huge fireball explosion while everyone else flies off into the sunset.
So Mariner and Enola get up to the airship.
Yes.
Deacon gets onto one of the jet skis, does a miraculous shot that I think like shoots one of the ropes that's holding the...
He shoots the exact rope.
Yeah, and she ends up losing her balance and falling into the water.
Yeah.
And then their idea to get her is to drive full blast
directly at her. So that they'll definitely crush her head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so the Mariner coming to the rescue ties a rope to his leg.
Bungee jumps.
So it just happens to be bungee cord?
Apparently.
And then pulls her out of the water in like the very Looney Tune-esque manner.
Yeah, sure does.
And then that's when those three collide, and it is very, very...
stupid.
Wile E. Coyote.
Asinine.
Fucking dumb. If they should have just painted a black hole onto a side of the ship and made it look like it was a tunnel, and they just drive into the side of the ship.
Also, if they bungeed up, wouldn't they have fallen back down into the fireball?
I've always thought that, yes.
But they don't. They live. Don't. And then they find dry land. And then the Mariner's like, oh, dry land sucks. And he, like a cowboy in a Western, in like Shane or, what any of these other classic Westerns, the cowboy rides off into the sunset. He leaves the town. Yes, he made friends. He had sex with the woman. The child sees them as a parental figure for some reason, but he can't stay. He's got shenanigans to meet, and he's got other women to fuck and other children to lead on about being their dad. And he just leaves. But also, when they're on dry land, they find that there was a civilization there, but they all died. So am I the only one who went, what the fuck is wrong with this island?
Yeah.
Why did they die? How did they die? Why am I concerned that we're now going to try to make a home on a place where a bunch of people are dead?
Get some virus. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, the shit here is tainted. So when you grow your food, it's going to be real bad. Did they run out of... Does the island even have food? Was that the problem? What happened?
Yeah.
I feel like they need a little more foresight. Also, it's like Mariner leaves because, he just... His home is the water and he fucks off. Except he definitely knows how to get there. so he could definitely pay a visit, but he's not going to because he's an asshole for no reason except is asshole.
That's what it was wrote in the script.
Well, you know how like if you look at a script and it's like character name and it gives you, Mariner, 30s, and then you get a description of the character. So it's like Mariner, 30s, asshole. That's it.
Yeah.
Deacon, 40s to 50s, dumbass.
Dumbass coyote.
Dumb a coyote.
I did like there was one line.
No, there wasn't.
Where they're on dry land and they said something about it doesn't feel right.
It doesn't move right.
It doesn't move right. Yeah, I did kind of like that because it's like, okay, that makes sense. You've been on the water your whole life.
So yeah, the idea of a perfectly still land, that doesn't make sense. Why did that island have horses? And like a lot of horses.
They're probably the ones that passed on the virus. I don't know.
Oh, everyone got horse flu and died?
Yeah, probably.
Goddamn equine.
So yeah, that was Waterworld.
Sure was. Final thoughts time. Ratings. IMDb 6.3.
IMDb is wrong again.
That is way too high.
That is
way too high.
That is way too high.
Rotten Tomatoes 47%. Rotten Tomatoes is wrong. That is way too high. That is 46% too high. Way too high.
Okay.
Oh, go on. What are your thoughts? Go ahead.
I think it's, from what I know of our lowest rated film from Rotten Tomato, which is what, a 27?
28.
28. So if I was to compare Halloween to this movie,
yes,
I would say
47
is about 30 too high.
So it's a 17.
Right.
Yeah. It's 46 too high.
I enjoyed the
you didn't.
Halloween
a
whole lot more.
Oh, yeah. I thought you said you were about to say you enjoyed something from Waterworld. No, you didn't. All right. Reviews. Ebert, 2.5 stars. That is roughly 2 stars too many. Waterworld got the same score as Beverly Hills Cop.
And Die Hard.
Was Die Hard 2.5? I don't remember.
I believe it was.
I'd have to look. Hold on. Ebert, 300 got 2 stars. Waterworld is a half star better than 300. 300 has not aged well. It's not the movie I remember it being. But it's better than Waterworld. Flipping through my notes. Oh, wait. Die Hard. 2 stars. Waterworld is half a star better than Die Hard.
Okay. I from this moment on, I have no respect for Ebert.
Oh, just now?
And I probably said that once or twice before, but right now.
No, are you ready for the accompanying quote?
Let's do it.
Remember, 2.5 stars. Better than Die Hard. It could have been more. It could have been better. It could have made me care about the characters. 2.5 stars.
So is he basing that on what he thought it could have been? Or what he actually got?
I'm not sure.
Because that's a shitty review. And how are you a paid movie critic?
Okay. New York Times. We would never have heard so much about Waterworld if it were only Waterworld. A reasonably diverting sci-fi film with extras who appear to be wearing rags and old car parts. New York Times review spent a lot of the article talking about how the movie is not interesting. The making of the movie is what's interesting. The budget issues and the deadline and the postponings and the reshoots and this. It's like Apocalypse Now. Apocalypse Now is a bleh movie. The entertaining part about Apocalypse Now are all the stories of the making of Apocalypse Now, right? And if you know those stories, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, look up the making of Apocalypse Now. It's insane. And New York Times, they don't mention Apocalypse Now, but they're kind of telling the same kind of story. If it were only just Waterworld, a normal movie that got made by normal means, it would be forgotten and no one would talk about it. The reason it's still remembered and the reason it's talked about is all the nonsense behind the scenes.
Yeah, okay, I can understand that because some of the things I've read, like they went to Steven Spielberg and were like, hey, give us some advice. And he's like, don't film on water.
Yeah.
Don't go filming on the ocean. And what do?
They went to Hawaii to film on the ocean.
It's like, and that's what caused them shit ton of problems.
Yeah. And money.
Yeah. So it's like, why would you even ask him for his opinion if you're not going to take it?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like it's some other director who's never had experience at it. You obviously went to him for a reason. So.
Yeah. What does he know? Fuck you, Steve.
Yeah. We're going to do it anyway.
Fuck
and we're
you.
going to show you.
I'm going to let you start. Final thoughts. Waterworld. A movie you own. And, actually, so I do, before, I'm sorry, pause. I want to point out that the origin of this podcast, the origin of Ticket Price came down to you and I arguing about two movies. One was The Shining that I loved and you hated. That was our very first episode. We are now at episode 48 covering the second movie that you claim to love, that you defended. Want to make that? We are now covering, we have now officially covered the two movies that created the idea of this podcast.
So the first movie that we've done, The Shining.
Yes.
You liked it. I did not.
Correct.
When we first talked about it. But when we actually did the review and we sat down and we looked at it objectively, we both came to the conclusion that it was not worth the ticket price.
That is, I swallowed those words. I did it. And I even now, 47 episodes later, I stand by that. I stand by that call.
Okay. So here we are now with the second movie that we talked about that got this show started.
Yes.
That I liked, that you did not.
Correct.
And now we are at the second movie where the other person had to swallow the pill.
Yep. Now, wait, are you saying this because you truly believe it? Or are you saying this because you know if you don't, I'll kill you. I will come across this table and everyone will listen to me murder you.
No, this movie is terrible. But there's so many things in this movie that could have, like fucking Ebert said, could have been. There are so many things that it could have. Like I said, let's just drop the water down.
Sure.
So that there's a reason why you could have some really cool moments of them going into buildings and exploring and finding things. And like even the character of the mariner, the idea of him having gills and being, a mutant with webbed feet. That's cool.
He's a mermaid.
He's a merman. Yes.
Merman, Dad. Like Zoolander. I'm a merman.
But the idea of that is cool. And I wish they would have elaborated more on that character. The deacon was fucking trash. From just his cartoony, stupid ass one-liners to the very Looney Tunes-esque way he bites it. The only thing that was missing from that scene was when Mariner grabs her out of the water and bounces back up. You have that boing sound effect.
Actually, you know what? Now that you say it, you know what was missing? Because it's an overhead shot. You see the three jet skis collide. Fireball. What we should have gotten was the deacon riding the top of the fireball towards the camera screaming. Ah!
And then grabs her leg.
And then, gotcha, bitch.
Dennis Hopper is not good. He is not a good actor. Again, I've only seen a handful of his films, but from what I've seen, no, not a good actor. It had some cool stunts. I liked the stunt work. The costumes were cool. I liked that they used things from the resources that they had available. Very Mad Max-ish. The story is kind of dumb. Like, so you tattooed this little baby's back with directions on how to get to dry land.
And then sent her adrift in a basket like Moses.
Yeah, but she grew up and the tattoo stayed the same size. It didn't warp. And
are you saying it should have been, what was that movie with Andy Samberg and Adam Sandler? Was it My Boy or whatever? Where when Andy Samberg's character was a child, he ended up, Adam Sandler made him get a tattoo of like Boys to Men or something. So then when Andy Samberg grew into adult, they're all misshapen and warped.
See, yeah, it should be like that. But yeah, there's just so many things that I think a lot of it was left on the cutting room floor. But even then, I don't know if it would have even worked. 3.5 hours is a long
I'll fight you. I will fight you.
But no, this movie, I think it's fun.
You're wrong.
Because it's so stupid. But it's not worth the ticket price.
There it is. Thank you.
I have to be honest.
I feel redeemed.
I could not let my nostalgia cloud it. I had to be honest. It's dumb. Stupid.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. This was Waterworld. I don't like Kevin Costner. I don't like Dennis Hopper. Apparently, I don't like Kevin Reynolds, Peter Rader, or David Twauhee. Twoo-woo. I'm really racking my brain to think of a movie we've covered that gets every aspect of what it takes to make a movie wrong. Waterworld gets it all wrong. The writing, the directing, the acting, the action, the levity, the intense moments, the fucking character development, the basic plot, the setting, the cinematography, the fucking gaffer. I don't even know what a gaffer does, but I bet he sucks. I'm sorry, I was getting worked up. I'm fine. The plot is borderline at best. The characters are one-dimensional in all the worst ways. I don't care about what happens or who it happens to. I'm sad they all survived. I'm sad any of them survived. I'm not totally sure Dennis Hopper's character died. You want to talk about the Deacon? The Deacon is supposed to be a mass of presence and charisma. He has nothing. He's this little limp dick asshole who throws out cigarettes. Why do cigarettes exist? They're made of fucking plant matter and paper. Neither of these things exist. I'm fine. I'm fine. The Mariner is a mutant. Why is he a mutant? So we talked about sea monster fucking evolutionary traits going at a rapid rate. Is humanity evolving? Again, if you're one to believe in macroevolution, then that takes millions of years, not 300 or 400. Are there other mutants? Maybe, although presumably there are, because everyone knows what fucking mutants are. And fucking Gregor, in his dumbass, even gives it like a scientific genus and species name, like an asshole. You know, so like, obviously, but why are they killing the mutant? I don't understand why being a mutant is an automatic death sentence. It's like I'm watching fucking X-Men. I wish I was watching fucking X-Men. Speaking of fucking... Women are property. Are we trying to make some kind of statement with this fact, or are we just doing it to do it? Because it doesn't serve the plot. It doesn't serve our characters. It's just this weird kind of icky thing that we all went, really? Can I have 45 minutes with the little one? I like to do the talking, if you know what I mean. No one knows what you mean. That's not a euphemism. What the fuck are you talking about? The fuck is this movie? Do jet skis, can they survive underwater that long? I don't understand. If the polar ice caps melt, would the planet just be miles upon miles? I swear to God, these boats would have been closer to the atmosphere than they were to the sea floor. Would they generate that much water? I don't understand. If the polar ice caps melt, would the world flood that much?
No, it would not.
I don't know, but I gotta think they wouldn't. There's the fucking World Trade Towers. Miles below the surface. Hundreds of meters below the surface. What? Space is only about approximately 4 miles above us?
Yeah.
I don't think it would flood that much. Why did they make corpse puppets? Why did they design a Looney Tunes-esque trap of corpse puppets? They won't see this. Pull the string and wave at him. Hi, guys.
It's because they were led by Wile E. Coyote.
I don't understand. I don't understand. What is recycling? What are they doing to the corpses? Why do they need to? Is it a food source? What are they doing with this? I don't understand. I hate this movie. I hate this movie so much.
This is the first time I'm catching on to that.
This movie is not worth the ticket price. I said it. I know everyone's shocked and amazed.
Shocked to the core, I must say.
The core of their Exxon D's nuts and the single drain pipe that goes from combustible elements to surface of ship. Where does that guy go to the bathroom? Does he just shit in the oil? I'm pretty sure that's going to ruin it.
Yeah, probably.
I don't...
Maybe that's what they have that pipe for. They send him a bucket all the way down. And then he,
They don't care about him to bucket out his waste.
No, but they care about the oil.
That's true. Wait. The atoll lets random visitors have sex with their young girls till they get pregnant to keep the town population going without relying on inbreeding. How does the deacon have so many people? They're all dudes. It's a straight sausage fest on that ship. Are they all just random henchmen they saved? Hey, you work for me now. All right. Right?
Yeah.
Where did all these people come from and how did they sustain their population?
One question for that. So on the atoll, L'Oreal was there.
Yeah.
Why did they not offer up the girl to L'Oreal? Because he definitely would have taken that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It makes no sense to me.
I hadn't even thought about that. Good question. I have a headache. I don't feel very good.
I can see that vein sticking out really, really far.
This one?
Yeah.
This one right somewhere in this general region of my forehead?
You can almost rest your glasses on it.
Part of me, you brought up good points. Going back to Ebert's review and then your kind of take on it, on what could have been, changes that could have been made. Now, we have had conversations in the past of movies that are bad, but they had all the chance in the world to not be bad. And what we would do if we were they're all right, guys, we're remaking Waterworld. Jake, Tevis, have at it, right? And this movie is so just god-awful. I can't help but think, what could we do with something like this? But I despise this movie so much because it's so bad. I don't even want to entertain that game. If someone's like, hey, do you guys want to remake The Last Voyage of the Demeter? Absolutely. Hey, Rob Zombie would like you guys to re-edit Halloween and see what you could do with it. 100%. Let's roll with it. Hey, would you guys remake Waterworld? I will spit in your goddamn face. If you do not get away from me, I will backhand your children like the Mariner. Get away from me. The Mariner has 5 lines. They're all delivered like ass. Because Kevin Costner sounds like a little bitch the whole time. He has no bass to his voice like an adult fucking man. Right? And he's just like, I'll breathe for the both of us or fucking whatever. You didn't really want me. Not really. Swoon. Shut the fuck up. Find your nuts. You're not a badass. You're just a douche. And you're not even just fuck. Did I mention this movie isn't worth the ticket price?
I think this is your first time.
Okay. Well, you know what? I can fuck. It's fine. I'm fine. I don't need to be escorted out. I'm fine. And we're going to move on. It's fine. Fine. Did I tell you? This is episode 48. We're almost to 50. We done 50 of these.
So we got something special coming up for 50?
Oh, it better be. Because I swear to God, Jake Gyllenhaal fucks this up too. At episode 50, we are doing a special showdown episode. They're wildly requested. We've seen lots of recommendations. This is one of them. So tune in. Episode 50, special showdown episode. We will be comparing Roadhouse. Swayze versus Gyllenhaal. Only one can leave. Which one's worth your time and money? We will tell you. Stay tuned for that. But we still have one more episode to get through before we get there. Where's that fucking hat? Shit!
It's over by you.
Dicks!
Tourette?
Swear words! This hat. This fucking movie. All right, hold on.
Yes, breathing is good.
How do I put this? We just did Waterworld. This movie, as far as acting, writing, directing, quality, is the exact opposite of Waterworld in every conceivable way.
Okay.
Mel Gibson. Melly Gibbs.
Another Mel Gibson movie.
Why'd you say it like that?
Why
did you say it like that?
Because I'm trying to think of Mel Gibson movies.
They're all bangers. Take your time. Excuse me?
Yeah.
Huh?
You heard
Do you want to, huh? Hold on. Gregor, what did he say? Is now the time to pick this fight? All right.
Okay.
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger?
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger and Mel Gibson.
Yes.
I have no fucking idea.
Patriot.
Oh, shit. I totally forgot Heath Ledger was in that.
Yep. Young Heath Ledger.
Okay. Nice. Okay. I'm looking forward to this.
I almost said the name of the bad guy because I almost said Oscar Isaacs. And then I was like, is that right? And I was like, that's not right. But now that I'm thinking about it, I think that is right.
I don't know. We'll find out. I'm looking forward to this.
Me too.
You need this.
I need a Mel Gibson movie.
You need him. Does he get naked in this?
If he does, I'll timestamp it for you.
Okay.
I don't think he bears anything in this one. I think he's a little more reserved.
Okay.
Clothed.
Oh, I'm sorry for you.
Although he does mac on his dead wife's sister quite a bit.
Okay. That's a little odd.
Is that incest adjacent?
That's incest adjacent. I think so.
Because it's just a man and a woman. But they were in-laws at some point.
It's
It's questionable.
It's tickling the ivories.
Don't. I do. I really wish everyone could have seen your hand gesture as you said that. Please don't do that anymore. What did you say earlier that gave me the heebie-jeebies?
Oh, shit, I don't remember.
It was something in the voice of Gregor. Could we just stop doing all of that, please? No. So tune in next week as we hit up the Mel Gibson classic, The Patriot, and then the week after that, Roadhouse Showdown, episode 50. I'm excited for that.
Hell yeah.
Because for the showdown, now Roadhouse I've seen a couple of times. Swayze Roadhouse. Then, during this life of the podcast, the Gyllenhaal one was made. I knew we would get to it at some point, and probably as a showdown. So I have intentionally stayed away. I have not watched it. I haven't seen a trailer for it. I haven't looked up reviews on it. I know basically nothing other than Jake Gyllenhaal, Conor McGregor, Roadhouse remake. That's all I got. I'm going into it as blind as I can.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I have seen both. So
well, I guess you're watching both again.
Hell yeah. I'll watch both again. I'm all for it.
You don't need any prompting to watch Swayze.
No, hell no. You got Mel, I got Swayze.
You know what? I'm okay with that. You know what? We all have our own, and
they both have the same haircut.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. And now, Ellen Ripley.
Mean. That joke was mean the first time you made it. Then I forgot it existed, and now it's still just as mean.
But accurate.
But Ellen ain't got no butt.
That's true. That's true.
You know who does have butt? Mel
Swayze.
Gibson. Wait, in Roadhouse, do we see Swayze butt?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's your timestamp it.
Oh, I will.
You have to timestamp Swayze. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening and enduring my pain and my agony. Thank you for suffering with me as we looked at Waterworld. Tune in next week for Patriot. The week after that, 50th episode special, Roadhouse Showdown. I'm Jake. Eating his own words is Tevis.
Nom, 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 nom.
Wait. Is this a bad omen that the two movies that we argued about that spawned this show have ultimately been decided that neither of them are worth the ticket price? I feel like that's not a good sign.
It's a curse.
Oh, good. Now we're cursed again. Thank you all for listening. Jake, Tevis, ticket price. Tune in next week. Be good to each other. Be good to yourselves. And good night. Fucking water.
So sad.
Fucking piece of shit.